Okay, so let's go into ketone esters. So I bet a lot of people, they've heard the name, but don't know what it is. So what are ketone esters?
So first, an important difference to make is the difference between the ketones that our body produces itself, and then on the other hand, we have the ketone ester drinks. So first, ketones is a name refers to three molecules, and these molecules are produced by our liver under conditions when there are limited carbohydrates available. So this stimulates our liver to convert fatty acids into ketones, and those ketones can then be used, for instance, by our brain to survive periods of low energy availability. So through fasting, or also by using a ketogenic diet, we can increase or we can stimulate our liver to generate ketone bodies. So this is the endogenous form of ketones. But recently, they developed a ketone ester drink. And with this drink, you can simply increase your ketone levels in the blood within only 30 minutes. And you get the same levels of ketones in the blood as a couple of days of fasting without having the difficulties of adhering to a fasting period or to use a ketogenic diet.
So why would somebody want ketones in their blood while they're exercising?
First of all, there are studies suggesting that ketones can act as an alternative fuel for skeletal muscle. So ketones can replace glucose as an energy source, and as such, we can spare muscle glycogen, which is really important because we really need, for instance, in a cycling race, to use muscle glycogen. So muscle glycogen is really a rate limiting factor. So if we can have an alternative energy source for muscle glycogen, it's really beneficial. And secondly, there are also indications that ketones can not only act as an alternative fuel for muscle glycogen, but it may also be a more energetically efficient fuel. And as such, it might increase exercise performance.
And my next question is, so I've heard of ketone salts too, right? And those are pretty inexpensive. And then there's ketone esters, which are it's like $30 or $33 for 25 grams. It's expensive. What's the difference between ketone salts and ketone esters?
So with the ketone salts, in this case, you get a ketone body, which is binded to a salt, like for instance, potassium. But you really need a high amount of ketone salts to get an increase of ketone levels in the blood. And as such, you will often get some gastrointestinal complaints due to the high salt intake. So it's really difficult to get to high ketone levels in the blood with the ketone salts. While with the ketone ester, you only need, let's say, 25 grams to get to really high ketone levels in the blood.
So people I think the problem is with ketone salts, they get upset stomach, right? If they try to do too much and they just can't tolerate it.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
Okay, so then you have this study and you're trying to find out if bicarbonate can help unlock ketone performance, right? Or performance while ingesting ketone esters. Why did you think of this? Why you combine the two?
So we first performed a study with only the ketone ester and a placebo. And there we observed that with the ketones, there is a decrease in blood pH when you ingest the ketones, and also the blood bicarbonate, which is a buffering agent, drops due to the ketone ester intake. And this is really negative to your performance because bicarbonate is used to buffer the protons in your blood. So it's clear that when you go to the final in a race and you have decreased blood bicarbonate, it's definitely negative. So therefore, we might think if we counteract this decrease in blood pH and also blood bicarbonate, we might see a beneficial effect of ketones. So therefore, in our next study, we provided the ketone ester together with bicarbonate to look whether there is an effect of ketones when your blood pH remains stable.
That's really cool. So just to summarize that previous study, was that we did a 30-minute time trial on that too? Is that right?
In that case, we did first a 3-hour submaximal exercise bout, and then they performed a maximal time trial of 15 minutes.
Well, no, not this one, not the bicarbonate one, but the previous one was just ketone esters, no bicarb. Same thing?
Same. Yes, it was exactly the same study.
Okay.
Did you close both those studies with a 15-second sprint?
Yeah, at the end was always a maximal sprint for approximately 1 minute.
Do you remember then how much lower was the performance for the group with ketone esters?
In that study, despite the lower blood pH, there was no decrease in performance. So performance was similar between the ketones and the placebo condition. But it's important to note that in that study, we provided ketones only during the first part of the race. So when the subjects started their time trial, the ketone levels were again low. While we also performed another study in which we provided ketones during a 30-minute time trial, and in that case, there was indeed a decrease in performance of approximately 2 to 3%.
And that's significant for people. It might sound small, but that's significant, especially.
That's significant.
Yeah, if you're doing a 40K time trial, or I guess it'd be a shorter time trial in that distance for humans, it's significant. Okay, so let's go into now this study. We want to know if bicarb and ketone esters increases performance. And why did you think actually before in that previous one, so your blood was more acidic, but performance didn't decrease at the end? Why did you think, did they like balance each other out, the ketone esters and the acidity? What do you think happened?
Yeah, so we think that clearly the lower bicarbonate levels would be something negative. But if we didn't observe a decrease in performance, there should be any advantage of having the ketones. So we think that the positive effects of the ketones were leveled out by the negative effects of having lower blood bicarbonate concentrations.
If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.
If you didn't like this video, you can give it a thumbs down, but let us know what you would have done differently in the comments below.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com.
Do it.
If you think I have better hair than Jonathan, give it a thumbs up. If not, leave a comment.
My hair is better than his.